Hey guys, AngerBeast here bringing you some domination gameplay on the map. Oh, what is this one? Scrapyard using the MG4, which in my opinion is the worst primary weapon in the game. I know a lot of people think that the F2000 is worse, and that's just a matter of opinion. But I think that the MG4 takes the cake for a couple of reasons. Let's compare the two right now. First we're going to start with damage. Let's see. The F2000, it does 30 to 20 damage, which means it kills in 4 bullets up close and 5 bullets at a distance. That's pretty low damage for an assault rifle, but that's not too big of a deal because it has such a high rate of fire. Now, when you compare the rate of fire, they both fire at about, I believe, 1,000 rounds per minute, so they're about equal in that matter. And the MG4 does a constant 4-hit kill at all ranges without stopping power. And since I'm not using it with stopping power in this game, that's what we're going to compare the two as. As far as recoil goes, the MG4 does win there. It does have a little bit lower recoil, but one thing that I think the F2000 has over the MG4's iron sights, for a couple of reasons, the MG4's iron sights are absolutely ridiculously bad. I don't know how Infinity Ward can mess this up any worse, but for whatever reason, not only the iron sights very difficult to look through, there's a very small dot at the very end of them that's impossible to see. The iron sights are also misaligned unless you put an ACOG or thermal scope on it. Neither the red dot or the holographic are aligned, and neither are the iron sights. So pretty much no matter what you do to this gun, you're not going to be shooting exactly where you're aiming. That's really frustrating because light machine guns are meant to be used from medium to long range where they have an advantage. The one saving grace that I think the MG4 has is it has the best aim down sights time of all the light machine guns besides the AUG bar. I think it's somewhere in between the AUG bar and the RPD L86 aim down sight speed. So that's good. I mean it's pretty good, but it also has a terribly long reload. Yes, it has the 100-round magazine, which is nice. I mean, you're never gonna run out of ammo with that, really. But when you do have to reload, you have to take like 10 seconds out of the action. Like, there's just something about this that just doesn't make sense on a lot of levels. I think in this game, though, my perks are Marathon, Lightweight, and Commando, and this has got to be one of the worst things to run. Marathon, Lightweight, and Commando all work together very well on a submachine gun or an assault rifle because it lets you knife fast, lets you move fast. But when you're using a light machine gun, you can't move fast. Okay, you can't kill fast with this gun. It takes 4 bullets to kill up close, and the irons are misaligned. You got really bad recoil. Moving around is bad because you have very low raise and drop time. So after you're sprinting, you're gonna be sitting around forever trying to pull your gun back up, and before you can shoot again. So just overall, this is just a bad idea. Never use the MG4. The only thing that makes the MG4 worse is the silencer. Luckily, I didn't have it unlocked here. I would have been using that, but if you use a silencer on the MG4, it does nothing but reduce your damage from 30 damage to 20 damage across all ranges. If you were to have the silencer on this, it would be the absolute worst piece of crap weapon in the game. I'm sorry, but I really hate this weapon. I think I got a request for it in a personal message a couple weeks back, so I got this gameplay right after I got that message. But it's one of those weapons that just really just doesn't gel. It's got so many things going for it, but the things that are going for it are completely countered by the things that they're really bad for it. It's got low recoil and a high rate of fire. Those two things work great together, but it has such bad iron sights that it's impossible to hit anything. I should have easily gotten at least 3 or 4 there, and I only got 2 kills out of that, simply because I couldn't shoot where I was aiming. Excuse me, I am using sleight of hand over Marathon. But in an ideal world, what you want to use on this is you want to use grip, you want to use ACOG, bling, stocking power, and probably sit rep or steady aim, whichever one you prefer. I mean, they both are useful, but I think that steady aim gives a little bit more of an advantage. Now, there isn't too much you can do to make this useful, but packing a good secondary is important. When using a light machine gun, you have a terribly slow raise and drop time. At this point, I hadn't unlocked the M93 Rafika, so I opted towards the USP-45. But if I did have the M93 Rafika unlocked, it's my default secondary just because it is a fast swap time and quick damage. And even without stopping power, it's very effective unless you're putting a silencer on it. That's just a waste, really, on the M93. You're not going to be using it in a situation where you need the silencer for it. So, yeah, definitely try and pick a quick switching secondary. The only other weapon that would really make sense would be like a Ranger, because the Rangers have a fast swap time for a shotgun, and they give you good close range performance. Although, in all reality, you'd be better off using a pistol over this weapon. That's how bad it is. The misaligned iron sights really take away from this weapon's effectiveness, and without the ability to get your 3-hit kill up close or at range, you completely eliminate all reasons to use a light machine gun. And you'll get outgunned by anything in the game. I can't think of a single weapon that could possibly kill slower than this, other than maybe if a sniper misses his first shot. But in that case, it's their fault. It's their accuracy. So I'm using the concussions and the Semtex, and they're one thing that can really help this class out, because if I had been running something like a frag and a flashbang, I would have been so slow getting my grenades out, I wouldn't have gotten any kills with them. And the thing is, if you can be accurate with your grenades and you can stun your people accordingly, then you'll have a fighting chance with this weapon. That's pretty much the only way I'd honestly recommend using this weapon, is if you're going to be using your flashbangs to your advantage, because if you're not using your flashbangs, what's going to end up happening is you're just going to get destroyed by people who are just rushing at you. And if you can keep them in a situation where you have the advantage, that's the only way you're going to get killed with this class. I mean, it's just ridiculous how bad this is. I challenge anybody to go out and try this class, and if you can pull a score with a greater than a 1 KD, which is what I pull in this game, although at this point I was thinking, okay, this could be really good. I'd pick up his tar right here, because I'm thinking I'm on a little bit of a kill streak. I'll try and build something out of it. But the thing is that with lightweight and on this, you just lose all your potential to kill. So if you can get a game with over a 1 KD with this, I say you're an awesome player, because especially if you're running the silencer on it, there really, really, really is no worse class. I mean, yeah, the MG4 might be okay in hardcore, where you just get a one-hit kill all the time, and a 30 damage doesn't mean much compared to a 40 damage weapon. But it just, to me, it just doesn't make any sense to use this weapon over a better alternative like the... Oh, man, I got MW2 off my kill streak. I would have gotten my Harrier there. But it just doesn't seem like it's a wise choice when you got weapons like the ACR, which can kill in one-hit kill at range in hardcore, or the TAR-21, which is really, really powerful up close. So, I don't know. The purpose for this weapon in the game is minimal, but I do suppose if you're going for a low-level, high rate of fire light machine gun that can just spray people down and just... Basically, it's a fear weapon. It acts on it. It can't kill anything, but it acts as a weapon that's kind of scary. It's kind of like the M16 Call of Duty 4. That weapon was terrible. It really was. It had such bad recoil, and all the other light machine guns could kill in 2 hits as well. So there really wasn't any reason to use it. But it was very scary. It scared people back undercover, and that's what I think this weapon is good for, if anything. And that's minimal, considering a lot of people are just rushing in this game with their UMP-45s, or they're sitting back and noob tubing. So the fear factor involved with this gun, it really just doesn't come into play that often. So, the ideal place to run this would be on a map, probably like Derail, because you have a little bit longer lines of sight, and while this thing does have misaligned iron sights, which is very unfortunate, it really takes away from this weapon, you can leverage the longer lines of sight to your advantage even with this. You just, basically when you're trying to use the longer line of sight with a weapon like the MG4, what you have to do is you have to just spray at him. There's no two ways about it. If you just, like this right here, I'm not even trying to aim right now, I'm just trying to hip fire. I'm not exactly hip fire, but move my crosshairs around, because I'm not exactly sure where the bullets go. But I do know the iron sights are misaligned. I've tested it. I just forgot where they went. I think they dropped to the lower right of the actual post in the middle, so it's difficult to aim with it. It is usable, don't get me wrong, but it's never going to be my #1 choice in any situation. So, when playing on this map with the light machine guns, what you want to do is you want to try and stick in a position like this. If you can keep them spawn locked today, I think that's the superior flag. If you keep them spawn locked on. If you can leverage this concrete block right here, because concrete can only be penetrated by, I believe, noob tubes, obviously, because everything gets destroyed by a noob tube, and other light machine guns. So what you can do is you can leverage that to your advantage. You can duck down behind the cover and really maneuver the map to your advantage, and you can probably pull out some pretty decent scores if you're using any other weapon than this piece of crap. My kill streaks in this game are the UAV, the Predator missile, and the Harriers. I really like that kill streak setup when I'm using a light machine gun, because the UAV is critical when using a slow switching weapon like the MG4 or any light machine gun for that matter. If you can't know where your opponents are, they can easily flank behind you, and you'll get destroyed from behind by someone running ninja. And cold-blooded isn't used too much in this game, which is one thing that really helps light machine guns out. So, I mean, in the end, though, it comes down to personal preference. UAV could be replaced with something like counter UAV or even a care package, because a care package isn't that bad. I mean, you just have to call it in. And when you're playing defensive already, it's not too bad of an option. But the Predator missile really augments the LMG's ability to stay behind cover and kill people, because you don't have to leave your cover to get a quick couple kills. And when you're playing a ground war match like this is, it really isn't hard to get 2 kills. One thing that's always confused me, though, about Modern Warfare 2 is why this map is in ground war. It is such a close quarters map. I never really thought this should have been in ground war. When I first picked up the game and I saw this in ground war, I was extremely confused, because it's such a small map. You just think that the developers would be smart enough to just not put ground war in it. Oh man, I got quick scoped. Another thing that the MG4 though does pretty well is its penetration. Unfortunately though, because it has low damage, its high penetration doesn't help it much. You're basically gonna get a 6-hit kill through walls, which sucks. But you know, it's one of the things you have to suffer through when using a weapon like this one. The gameplay is winding down. Like I said, it ends up being like a 21 and a 21, which isn't the worst score by any means with a weapon like the MG4, because it's just hard to use. Like right there, I really should have had that kill. I rounded the corner, I pre-fired him, but because I have a semi-bad connection, I'm not the host in this game, and the fact that this weapon has a 4-hit kill at point-blank range, oh man, it just doesn't make any sense. It's kind of like the submachine gun balancing in Black Ops. It just doesn't make sense to me. But the gameplay is winding down, like I said. Hope you guys did enjoy. I'm Angry Beast. I'm signing out. Catch you guys in my next video. Oh man, I hate the Rangers.